Who are some of the people that were drafted with you that came up around the time that you were in the minor leagues?
Well, I could talk about the people from Pasadena. You know, it's back in the early 80s to the little past the mid 80s. Pasadena was a hotbed for minor league baseball prospects. A lot of kids got drafted out of Pasadena, you know, from Rod Booker to Sean Danzler, Roy McBride, myself, Vince Phillips, Kenny Crockham, Chris Bryant, and the list goes on and
Johnny
on. Johnny Howard, and the list goes on and on. During that time period of the early 80s to mid 80s, late 80s, there must have been 25 kids out of Pasadena that got drafted by a major league organization.
Obviously those numbers have fallen. A lot of numbers have fallen statistically wise in baseball, especially from San Gabriel Valley. Is there anything that you could attest to that would kind of brush on why things changed in the Pasadena area or the San Gabriel Valley area? We see it improving in certain areas, but as far as drafting and why it left Pasadena, is there any reason or any idea that you would have?
I think, you know, times change as life goes on. But one of the main things that I see is kids, like they might live in Pasadena now, but they go elsewhere. Well, for high school, like you got Pasadena kids going to Alamany. You know, you have Pasadena kids not playing in Pasadena anymore. I don't know the reason, but that's the way it's going. And with all this technology and everything that's going on these days, I don't think kids put in the hard work and the effort and the passion for the game anymore.
I see that as well. I see a lot of kids are into the thumb games. They're great in PlayStation and Xbox. More distractions, I would say. But other than that, let's talk about you had something that's a great honor for anybody that goes to high school, that goes to any school, to any institution of learning. And one day you found out that you were being honored at Blair High School. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what happened?
Yeah, after my playing days, you know, I've been living up here in Castaic now for the last 14 years. And my friends would call and tell me, hey, you know, your name is up on the Blair Sports Wall of Fame. And I would say, no, I haven't been there, I haven't seen that, I didn't know about that. So about 7 years after hearing this, I took my family down there and we went to Blair High School into the gymnasium and saw the Wall of Fame and saw my name up there, right next to Charlie Phillips.
Wow, that's a great honor, man. I mean, for anybody. So, I mean, I'm sure, I know how it was when we grew up. I'm just a couple of years older than you, and one of your years you did play for me. I managed you and play as a player manager in Canada. But wasn't baseball like second nature, something you woke up to in the morning and went out into the park or down the street with your friends and played? And how much of that are you putting on your kids? Like, go to the park, play baseball, play catch, here's a ball, go outside. How much of that is actually a part of your lifestyle and something that you implement to your kids?
Times have changed. It's not the days of kids playing in their front yard baseball anymore. It's all about travel teams. So me and my kids, we'll go out and we'll play. You know, we'll practice. Not as much as we should because there's not much time anymore. I mean, my kids are, between the three of them, are practicing 5 days a week.
Wow.
You know, so there's not much more of like, let's go in the front yard or let's get the neighborhood kids together, let's go play some baseball. So I don't preach that because that's not the way it is anymore.
And speaking of travel ball, how expensive can that be? I know how expensive because I was one of the instructors for a travel ball team, and I know how expensive and I know how much money parents are forking out for their kids to be taught by ex-professionals or someone who they look up to as far as being a mentor in that sport that they play. But how expensive it is these days for kids to play sports. For back in the day, I know inflation and everything goes up, but it's like we went from $25 registration fees to kids are paying like $300 a month. I mean, how do you survive with 3 kids and putting them into all of these travel ball leagues and which are quite worth it? I think it's a greater competition, but that has to weigh heavy on a man's pocket.
Yeah, well, Tumbleweed, we've talked, I'm blessed to be up here in Castaic and be around good people. We have a lot of support, people helping us, sponsoring us through these travel team programs. Without that, there's no way I would be able to have my kids playing in this travel ball stuff. It's just it's too expensive, and it's not the era that we came from.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because it eliminates a certain demographic of kids and athletes that they can't play because their parents don't have the money to pay $150, $200, $300, whatever it is a month. And that's the unfortunate part of how youth sports is these days.
Yeah, it's kind of become a business, even at a younger level. It's become a business, and some people are making lots of money off of the sport and off of many other sports, whether it be basketball, hockey, baseball, or etc. I mean, this is a beautiful place. You're just right across the street from the lake. I mean, literally, every time I come here, we walk across the street. We're at the lake. I know you're avid about taking your kids there, and something you always told me, hey Griff, when you have your kids, take them to the park for 30 minutes. It means so much. Take them to the park. If you can just do 30 minutes a day at the park, your kids are going to be very content. And I know they love going to the park. They love swimming. Your kids are all swimmers. They're all coordinated, which is, I mean, it sounds simple, but a lot of kids aren't coordinated these days. A lot of kids haven't been shown the time how to do things, and I just think you're blessed to be in a great community. And if you like to reflect on your community, that'd be awesome, because you live in a great community.
Oh, the Santa Clarita Valley, the city of Castaic is a beautiful place. It's a small town up here, but I really enjoy living up here. They have great schools. My kids are getting great educations, and the sports up here is exactly what we need. When parents ask, like, how come your kid could do this and mine can't, it's more of you got to be out there with them. You have to take them out and play and practice and swim or ride a bike or whatever. If you don't do that, then they can't do it. And it all starts with the parents introducing them to these activities.
Yeah, I agree, and it's not putting anyone down. It's just a matter of taking the time and doing it. You know, if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, a lot of times we get caught up in our own adult life that we find less time for the kids in their life and their aspirations. But not with you. You've done a great job, and I know that. I can attest to that because I know you. I've known you for over 20 years, and you've always been a great guy, stand-up guy, and I'm honored to be sitting back here with you and to have you on my first show. It's just a great thing. You've been a true friend. You're loyal. You're noble, and those are the type of people that I like to circle myself around. And as you said, times have changed. Just an honor having you here, and I appreciate the time here at Castaic Lake. Beautiful place, beautiful community. Thanks again, Reed Olmstead here, guys, from Pasadena, 30-year native, resides here in Castaic Lake, and I'm fortunate enough to be here to visit with Reed today.
Thank you very much, Tumbleweed. It's been a pleasure. SGV News. Keep watching.
Thank you. There it is. SGVMO TV. I'm Tumbleweed. Signing out. Until next time. Thank you.